It's such a beautiful morning. The house is bathed in sunlight. Okay, back in the studio after we've had a few days away. Went to the Lake District, did some walking and cycling and scrambling and eating and all kinds of stuff. It was great. We had a wonderful time. Went up haystacks and it was awesome. Anyway, in today's vlog I'm going to talk about painting outside, using a camera as an aid to painting, and putting a bag together to take out into the landscape to paint. And now I've got to get this place warmed up. It's absolutely freezing in here. I was sent to the wood really quietly because there's very often deer. It's always exciting. Okay, so painting in the landscape. Well, it's a fine and wonderful thing. If you want to take oil paints and canvas and easel, all of the equipment that goes with it out into the landscape to paint, there's really no substitute for it. But there are times when this is impractical. Stiff climber went up haystacks, which was magnificent, and but you know, I mean, we have children with us and all kinds. You can't just stop and spend hours making an oil painting. These things, well, you know, they're unquestionably they're a brilliant tool, but they can be a disaster for painting. Already they've made everything into a two-dimensional image. It locks in a lot of that information and then get bogged down with all the detail. So if you're going to be working outside and you're not going to be painting full-blown oil painting and you're not going to use a camera, then you're going to need a bag. This is my bag. I thought what we'd do is have a look and see what's inside. So, shoulder carrier. So of course I've got watercolours, usual, you know, things. And pencils, 2B, 4B, 6B, charcoal and side. The knife, bit of a cork on the end, stop it stabbing you. Bulldog clips. Brushes, like big, I like little fiddly little brushes. You can use these with watercolour and you can use them with acrylic. I don't tend to use them a lot with acrylic, working with my fingers or a bit of cloth. Sticks, scratch into the surface with them, you can paint with them, fine lines should you want that. Acrylics, the same palette that I would use in the studio. White, lemon yellow, cadmium orange, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, French ultramarine, cobalt blue. Where I find it, I do like yellow ochre. I take some greens as well. Now in the studio I'd probably mix these, but when you're trying to get something down in a real hurry, you can always change it slightly. You can add some yellow to it or some blue to it. Having that base colour works so much more quickly. Got a box of coloured crayons. In here, acrylic inks, dropper thing. You can actually draw with the dropper. Just really useful stuff. Snap of colour, acrylic ink, pens, lemon yellow, cobalt blue. Palettes, bit of card, I'll just chuck them away. Easels, I never carry an easel. I love this, sized, handmade paper with a lovely deckled edge. Well, whatever material you use on it, watercolour or acrylic. You're never quite sure what it's going to do because the sizing is a bit eccentric and the weave of the paper is quite eccentric too. The paint soaks in and runs and you get all kinds of really interesting things happening with it. It's not as easy to get, it takes a little while to get used to using it. It's a bit more expensive. The plastic bag, if you don't have the over trousers and it's wet and you need somewhere to sit, plastic bag solves that little problem of a wet bum. I'll use these little books here. These are by Dale O'Rowney. They're just great little things for making pictures with in the landscape, and then I would probably use watercolour and pencil, and you know, just kind of scribble away as quickly as I can and get down the essence of what I'm looking at. you develop your own shorthand for the landscape. So yeah, these will fit into a pocket. Over trousers, they're good. Barber jacket, got great big pockets. These will quite happily slip inside there. It's got pockets inside. Anyway, really important. Lots and lots of tissue paper. You can soak up, you can mop up paint with it, you can dry things out with it. It's blow your nose when it's freezing. And what else have I got in here? I never know what's in here. It's a glue. So it mixes with acrylic paint. Might be working on a larger scale. I might take portfolio. It'll sling over your shoulder. You can get much bigger supports in there. This is acrylic collaged grass paper drawing board, but you can also use it to paint on. Just a little bit easier to control if it's on a windy day. A piece of board rather than paper, because even with the clips it tends to blow all over the place. And I've had these below to the river, so you're never going to be safe completely. That's what I would carry to go working outside. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up and maybe even subscribe. That'd be great. After all this chat, I felt the need to get outside and then pop back in for a toasted crumpet.